I'm making a mask with many faces for the keyword karnival for my disability narrative class at Bread Loaf. It's hard. I can't listen to music or watch TV while I cut out these little patterns. All I can do is focus on what dotted line and which dotted line and which number connects to which number. I haven't challenged myself in this way in a long time. I like to stay with things that I'm good at. Who doesn't? But when I read the keyword on the census, I wanted to make something multifaceted. And I saw this mask on the internet, and I committed, so I'm in it, for better or worse. The keyword on the census suggests that disability studies are not taken into account when considering the loss of one sense or another. For example, if a person loses their sight, then they can no longer see. That is the simplified version of being blind. However, the keyword suggests that just because you lose the physical ability to see does not mean you no longer see things. Even if you were born blind, there exists a mosaic behind your eyelids, a world that only you are privy to. I think that's kind of beautiful. The argument is that one never loses a sense. And I think that this is most obvious in poetry. Mark O'Brien and C.M. Wade knew it. They knew that even though they couldn't move the way other people could move, their words could. I think people who were able-bodied knew it as well. Emily Dickinson said, "I like to see it lap the miles." And even though you're sitting here looking at this white screen, you saw something. You felt something. You heard something. Your senses were working, even though you were immobile. Slow news day in July. No subway delays. Another heat wave. Only one mass shooting in the middle of nowhere. No worries. The child gunned down and her killer town have melted into a warming iceberg in the Arctic. Don't be alarmed. New studies show brain freeze combined with existential dread boosts your immune system. Welcome to the age of ice cream. The woman who wrote that poem has a disability. Does it matter which one? You were right there with her in each word. The kid gunned down. That made you feel something and see something. The melting Arctic ice. Could you hear it as it crumbled into the ocean? The woman who wrote that poem has a disability. I am able-bodied, and 3.5 hours later, I'm still putting this mask together. Each piece of paper underneath my hands feels like doom, like I won't make it, like I'll be at the carnival and everyone will have something to present except for me. I had a really good idea, I'll say. We are on even footing when it comes to the senses. I think that's what the keyword is trying to convey. In her opinion, poetry is a way of being in the world that wasn't meant for us. Jennifer Bartlett says that in her view, poetry is the most organic art form. It does not require money or physical labor. A poem doesn't need to follow any particular grammar rules. It is the records of one's own experience, of the singular mind and or body, a singular voice. It is a way of being in the world, a world that in many ways was not made for us and actively resists our participation. Through poetry, we are able to make and reinvent the world. I think that's what the keyword is saying. That until we begin to accept that disabled people have all 5 senses, regardless of if they're blind or deaf or amputees or developmentally delayed, until we begin to accept that their 5 senses are just as valid and as real as any able-bodied person, disability studies won't have come far enough. Hey, what do you know? I did it.